Question 186. A real estate agent selling a real property sales contract, also called a land contract, must have an assignment of the contract executed and recorded in the county where the property is located within how many days after escrow is closed? A. 10 days. B. 2 weeks. C. A month. D. There is no requirement for such a recording. Correct answer is A. 10 days. California Civil Code Section 2985.51 requires that the assignment of a real property sales contract, land contract, be recorded within 10 days of the transfer. An agent who sells a land contract and collects a commission for doing so must record the assignment within 10 days after escrow closes or after the seller obtains his money. Question 187. Net capital losses deducted in a single tax year cannot exceed A. $3,000, B. $5,000, C. $10,000, D. There is no limit on capital loss deductions. Correct answer is A. $3,000. When you sell a capital asset, like stocks or real estate, for less than you paid for it, you incur a capital loss. The IRS limits the amount of net capital losses that can be deducted against ordinary income in a single tax year to $3,000, $1,500 if married filing separately. Capital gains and capital losses are netted against each other. If there is a net gain, it is taxed as a capital gain. Any capital losses exceeding the $3,000 limit can be carried over to future tax years. Question 188. 1 square mile equals A. 56,535 square feet, B. 1 million square feet, C. 27,878,400 square feet, D. A square mile cannot be expressed in square feet. Correct answer is C. 27,878,400 square feet. 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. A square mile is a square with sides that are 1 mile long. Therefore, 1 square mile equals 5,280 feet multiplied by 5,280 feet. 5,280 times 5,280 equals 27,878,400. Question 189. Property managers can be compensated in these ways, except A. Commission for new tenants, B. Gross receipts percentage, C. Percentage of discount received on the purchase of building supplies, D. Free room and board. Correct answer is C. Percentage of discount received on the purchase of building supplies. Property managers are typically compensated for their services through fees related to their management activities. This includes things like finding tenants, collecting rent, and overseeing maintenance. Any discounts granted for supplies or other materials by the provider or the owner's property. Taking a percentage of discounts received on building supplies creates a conflict of interest. It incentivizes the property manager to prioritize discounts over quality or the best interests of the property owner. This is considered unethical and potentially illegal. Question 190. A person writes, dates and signs his will entirely on his own. This kind of will is called A. Invalid, B. Holographic, C. Self-testamentary, D. Valid, if witnessed by a non-relative. Correct answer is B. Holographic. A holographic will is a will that is entirely handwritten, dated, and signed by the testator, the person making the will. In many jurisdictions, including California, holographic wills are recognized as valid, provided they meet certain requirements. A testator is not required to have witnesses to her signature if the will is written, dated and signed in her own handwriting. Question 191. If a request for a building variance is denied by the local planning commission, the decision can be appealed to the A. Real estate commissioner. B. City council or the board of supervisors. C. Attorney general. D. State Supreme Court. Correct answer is B. City council or the board of supervisors. Planning commissions are typically local bodies. When a variance request is denied, the appeal process remains within the local government structure. Depending on whether the property is within a city or county jurisdiction, the appeal would go to the city council or the county board of supervisors. While the state Supreme Court can ultimately hear cases, appeals regarding local zoning decisions typically start at the local government level. Appeals turned down by the local governing authority cannot be further appealed to the courts or BRI. Question 192. When a notice of completion of work being done on a property is recorded by the owner, a general contractor has to file a mechanic's lien. A. 60 days. B. 90 days. C. 3 months. D. There is no deadline for filing a mechanic's lien. Correct answer is A. 60 days. When a notice of completion is recorded, it triggers a shorter deadline for contractors to file mechanic's liens. With a recorded notice of completion, the deadlines are as follows. A general contractor must record a mechanic's lien within 60 days. A subcontractor or supplier must record such a lien within 30 days. This assumes that the owner recorded the notice within 10 days of actual completion for these deadlines to apply. Question 193. When the Federal Reserve Board follows a tight money policy, the result is A. Higher interest rates. B. New home construction will rise. C. Home sales will increase. D. None of the above. Correct answer is A. Higher interest rates. Tight money policy implemented by the Federal Reserve aims to slow down economic growth and control inflation by reducing the money supply. To achieve this, the Fed often increases the federal funds rate, which in turn leads to higher interest rates across the board, including those for mortgages and other loans. The higher interest rates resulting from a tightening money market would depress home sales and construction because consumers have a harder time obtaining home loans. Question 194. Which of following are examples of negligent misrepresentation by a real estate licensee? A. An agent exaggerates the advantages of a property she is showing. B. A broker intentionally misrepresents a material fact about a listing in order to gain a financial advantage. C. A broker was not aware, but should have been, that her statement about a material fact was incorrect. D. A broker instructs a seller to lie to a buyer about a material fact in order to close a sale. Correct answer is C. A broker was not aware, but should have been, that her statement about a material fact was incorrect. Negligent misrepresentation occurs when a person makes a false statement without intending to deceive, but they failed to exercise reasonable care or competence in verifying the accuracy of the statement. In real estate, this means a licensee should have known better. Let's break down why the other options are not examples of negligent misrepresentation. A. An agent exaggerates the advantages of a property she is showing. This is generally considered puffing or sales talk, which is often tolerated. While it may be unethical, it doesn't necessarily fall under the legal definition of negligent misrepresentation. B. A broker intentionally misrepresents a material fact about a listing in order to gain a financial advantage. This is fraudulent misrepresentation, which is intentional and much more serious than negligent misrepresentation. D. A broker instructs a seller to lie to a buyer about a material fact in order to close a sale. This is also fraudulent misrepresentation and potentially criminal. Question 195. Personal property is transferred through a purchase agreement. B. Personal services contract. C. Bill of sale. D. Deed. Correct answer is C. Bill of sale. While a purchase agreement may list personal property as part of a larger transaction, it's not the document that actually transfers ownership. Personal services contract relates to contracts for services, not the transfer of property. Deeds are used to transfer ownership of real property, not personal property. Bill of sale is a legal document that transfers ownership of personal property from one party to another.